and welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video I would like to talk about Idol's Wa, focusing on a little breakdown and analysis of the lyrics, the music video, and how the song might be connected to Oh My God. Wa is a song written and co-composed by Soyeon that explores the feelings of a person that experiences the ending of a relationship and tries to overcome the pain that they feel because of it. Now, in many respects, the song can be seen as a sequel of sorts to the events that took place in Oh My God. If back in the Korean version, the girls fell into temptation and indulged in a love that eventually led them to their downfall, in the Japanese version of the song, we saw many elements that foreshadowed their rebirth that we see taking place in Wa. We see the very same bird nest, the same flowers, we see a transformation that is achieved through fire, and all of these symbols are meant to provide a sense of continuity that actually connects the two installments of the I series into a coherent narrative that will possibly continue in the future as well. If in Oh My God their downfall was caused by them trusting the person that they loved, now the ending of this very same love is causing them to burn. But as we'll see in a second, this fire is not a destructive one, but rather a medium of awakening and rebirth that allows them to escape the cold that overcame them. Now, this idea is actually reinforced by the title itself, because in Korean, Wa is a word that has several different meanings. It can mean anger or fire, but also flower or bloom. So as you can see, the concept for this comeback is basically expressed through a very complex pun, because the anger and the resentment that they feel is exactly what sparks the fire that will make them bloom again like a flower. This is why the second title of the song literally translates into Fire Flower. It's all about rebirth. It's about the process of finding the fire within yourself in order to bloom again into the person that a toxic love tried to destroy. And in the video, this concept is conveyed by portraying the girls in different locations that actually show us the evolution of their mindset. At the beginning, the video starts with a tree in the summer that slowly withers away as the seasons progressively lead us towards winter. When the snow eventually covers the landscape and the lake gets frozen by the cold, Idol appears dressed in white and we see Soyeon holding a long braid that is connected to the tree. Now, these visuals here immediately tell us that the environment that surrounds them reflects the emotions that the girls are feeling after the ending of their relationship. Since Soyeon is connected to the tree itself is a representation of her state of mind as well as of the consequences that this love has brought upon the girls. Much like what the lyrics tell us, this breakup has led them to feel as if time got frozen in the dead of winter and nothing is left besides the cruel wind and the deepening darkness. But right from the beginning, we get the sense that Idol are not planning to indulge in this mindset much longer, because as soon as Uki takes the stage, she tells us that they want to break out from this endless season without promise. Now, this idea is also reinforced by the contrast between the landscape and the outfit, because even if Uki is still in winter, the red flowers on her dress and the umbrella that she's carrying imply their longing for spring as well as their wish to protect themselves from the cold. Like Uki and Sujin tell us, in order to stop their tears, they want to erase the scars created by this love and ignite a fire that will bring back the spring that they lost. But as Minnie shows us, this process is easier said than done, because even if in their mind they are in spring, their heart is still covered in snow. The tears are still falling and the girls are still suffering because of this love, so as Miyeon is running away from the winter, she also wishes for the snow to melt when the morning comes. As Shua tells us, however, the only way to melt this snow is to light up a fire inside of themselves, and this is exactly what happens next, because as we see the girls dancing in the snow, the lyrics also tell us that this fire has already started to burn. At this point, Idol are beginning to bloom again, and even if they're still victims of the cold, the fire that was awakened by their heartbreak is helping them reclaim their identity and regain control over themselves. And this idea is perfectly conveyed in Soyeon's scene, where we see her in a bird nest while she is surrounded by a murder of crows. Now, the bird imagery here actually tells us a lot more than what it seems, because if on the one hand the nest implies that the girls are vulnerable and in need of a place of refuge from the winter, on the other the crows symbolize both death and change. Idol here are literally trying to survive the cold that surrounds them, but their resolution to burn their resentment and settle their grudges actually allows them to get rid of this threat and trigger the change that will lead them to spring. Now, back in the Japanese version of Oh My God, this imagery was further explored by showing Soyeon with wings made of fire. And this symbolism heavily recalled the rebirth of the phoenix, who rises again from its own remains. Now, even if in WA the phoenix doesn't appear, this metaphor is still expressed in the lyrics, because after the girls tell us that they will not allow this love to change them, their memories turn into ashes and the girls bloom again like a bright flower. If back in Oh My God we saw the phoenix being born again from its ashes, now these very same ashes are giving birth to a flower made of fire. So as we see the spring blooming and Shua's hand being engulfed by the fire that saved them, we also see that the braid is now finally separated from the tree. By allowing the fire to burn their regrets, Idol were able to cut ties with the past and reclaim the spring that they lost. So now the winter doesn't affect them anymore, because much like what we saw in Oh My God, their scars are now covered by the flowers that they themselves have become. So that's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!